and it is 6 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. In case of emergency, you could exit the room to the back doors, or you could go out the doors to my left, down the stairs, and away from the building. Thank you. Roll call.
Donna Corbin-Sabinski.
Here.
Kevin Zorda.
Absent.
Virginia Higley.
Absent.
Kelly Hemler here. Ann Collins.
Here.
Ken Kaufman.
Here.
Chris Renaud.
Here.
Robert Gillespie.
Here.
Christopher Lataki.
Absent.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to seat Bob Gillespie. Public communications and petitions. I have none. Oh, is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak regarding items not on the agenda? Sorry about that. Anybody want to speak regarding items not on the agenda? Seeing none. Correspondence, now I have none. Minutes from preceding meeting, June 2nd. Oh, I get that. Does somebody want to make a motion?
Oh, sorry. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from June 2nd.
I'd like to second it.
Kelly and Ken, any discussion? I thought I had something. Okay, seeing none. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Sabinski.
Yes?
Kelly Hemler, abstain. I wasn't here. Ann Collins.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renaud.
Yes.
Robert Gillespie.
Abstain.
Okay, 2 abstains. Okay, 4 in favor, 2 abstains. Motion passes. We have no town attorney report. We have no continued public hearings, no new public hearings. We're on old business. So it's AAA 145, 117 North Street, application for an agent approval for material removed within the upland review area. Joseph LaCory, applicant owner, map 93, lot 15, I-1 zone. Hi. It's this one. Hi, could you state your name and address for the record? Sorry.
Good evening, Wes Wentworth, Wentworth Civil Engineers from Lebanon, Connecticut. I'm here on behalf of the owner and applicant, Joseph LaCory.
Thank you. Do you want to give us an update?
Yeah, really quick, just some overview. This is an application for an agent approval to remove brush, topsoil, and rubble piles from the upland review area. The materials are to be loaded directly onto a truck and removed from the site. All disturbed areas are then to be fine graded, seeded, and mulched immediately after removal from the upland review area. This property has been used for farming purposes, a sand and gravel construction operation, and includes a legal non-conforming residential dwelling. The background of this specific application stems from previous wetlands violations which were cited on the property starting in January of 2019. The aforementioned violations have since been addressed via a judge-stipulated agreement back in February 2026. The purpose of this agent approval application is to address one violation that was not included in that stipulated agreement. The proposed debris removal appears to be within the upland review area from the mapped wetland surrounding the property to the north and the west. Following the Commission's vote to table the discussion for AAA number 145 at the June 2nd, 2026 regular meeting, the applicant has proposed updated site plans that detail a silt fence between the rubble piles and the wetland.
Any comments? No?
Nothing more to
You're all
add.
set? Okay. Anybody else have any comments, questions, concerns? Ann, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none, yes, thank you for adding the ENS controls. Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to approve AAA 145, 117 North Street, application for an agent approval for material removal within the upland review area. Joseph LaCory, applicant owner, map 93, lot 15, I-1 zone, and just the general conditions.
Second.
Ken? So Kelly and Ken, any further discussion? Ian, anything? No? Anybody else?
No.
Okay, roll call.
Okay. Donna Corbin-Sabinski,
Yes.
Kelly Hemler, yes. Ann Collins,
Yes.
Ken Kaufman,
Yes.
Chris Renaud,
Yes.
Robert Gillespie.
Yes.
6 in favor, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Good luck with the project. Okay, next, we have new business. XIW 2601 58 West Shore Drive, application for a wetland permit to upgrade the wastewater pumping station, retaining wall, and associated site improvements, water pollution control, applicant, Town of Enfield owner, map 96, lot 23, R33, LFOD zone. Hi. Welcome.
Been a long time.
Hey, I know, it has been a long time.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
Then you're not making enough money.
So,
So again, Donald Nunes, Director of Public Works. We're here to talk about another good project at West Shore Drive. It's going to be a little complicated with that with seawall or water wall, if you will, that holds back our gravity main out there. But these gentlemen will be happy to talk about stuff like that, and we'll go from there. So I'll leave it up to them now.
okay, thanks. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Nash Erickson, Weston Sampson Engineers, 712 Brook Street, Rocky Hill, Connecticut.
For the record, Joe Perugini, professional engineer, Weston and Sampson.
Thank you.
So I have on the screen here some presentation plans. I also have printouts if you guys want those to go along. If you, if not, you can move on.
Are they in the packet?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay.
A little bigger.
Oh,
you.
okay.
It's a color version of what you basically received.
Oh,
With some
okay.
additional notes that we discussed in the
Thank you.
presentation.
So it's already been.
So we got this.
Okay.
So the project site is 58 West Shore Drive. It's located along Shaker Pond, and that's indicated in blue there. There's flagged wetlands along the pond, and that's associated with the pond, obviously. Those are flagged by Davison Environmental. The entire site is within an upland review area, partially due from the wetland flags from the pond, and then also it's located in a terrace escarpment soils area that's on the official wetlands map from the town. It is also partially within the FEMA floodplain. That's indicated with those red lines on the plan. That 100-year flood elevation is 184.6. Property size is 0.35 acres. You'll see there's an existing pump station on the site. The components are colored. Red is the generator and the propane tank for the generator. Orange are the existing pump station components, and then green is the existing electrical controls for the station. It was built in 1982. It serves approximately 30 homes, so it's relatively small, but is nearing the end of its useful life and it needs to be upgraded. There's an existing paved driveway, you'll see in gray there, down to the pump station. There's also a parking area, and then the existing station is entirely surrounded by pavement as well. It's also surrounded by a chain link fence, has an access gate, and then at the entrance to the site, there's another swing gate to keep people from driving down there. In yellow, you'll see on the bottom along the shore there, there's a sheet pile retaining wall, and that's within a gravity sewer easement. So that was installed when they put in the sewer. They put in the retaining wall, they backfilled behind it, installed the sewer, and that's the reason for that. It's in pretty poor condition. There's a lot of deterioration and corrosion in the wall. So when you look at it, there's some voids, and what's happening is that soil is kind of coming out from those voids and leaving empty pockets behind it. So it's not good for the stability of the wall, and then also for the surface behind the wall. And then on this plan, if you flip the page on sheet 202, you'll see the continuation. It's roughly 280 feet long, I believe. So talking about the proposed work, we spoke with Stephen Heine for a pre-application review, and they determined that the inland wetlands permit was the only permit that would be required for the town. We also spoke with U.S. Army Corps and got a pre-application review from them, and they determined that the work falls within a nationwide general permit 3, which is non-reporting, and there's no further coordination with them for this project. On top of that, we submitted to Connecticut Deep a natural diversity database review for state-listed species, and that came back with no negative impacts anticipated. To get into a little bit of the specifics, on sheet C501, which is the third one in, you'll see a lot of colors and of the pump station and all that, and the utilities. There's going to be a new pump station, obviously, in orange, and that's replacing the 2 orange components that exist there now. So there's 2 components that exist, and the proposed pump station will basically be a combination of those in one structure. There's also going to be a new diesel generator, so the existing propane generator is going to be removed and demolished. There's also going to be new electrical and controls. The generator is going to have an above-ground belly fuel tank, so there's no underground tank. The existing propane tank is underground, so that's going to be removed. There's also going to be a new force main. You can see that in green. It's going to go up the center of the driveway. And then to the right of that, you'll see in magenta a new service, electrical service. That's going to require a new utility pole off of West Shore Drive, and then the overhead wires are going to go across to the existing utility pole. The new station, you'll see, is positioned in a way that the existing station can remain in operation for most of this work while it's being constructed, and that's to limit the time that is necessary for bypass. So there's going to be maybe a 1 or 2 week period where you're going to need temporary bypass pumping and equipment out there to transition from old to new. But because of where we put it, it's drastically reduced. On top of that, one thing to note is that all this work is being done in a previously developed area when they first put the pump station in the 80s. So there's no clearing of undeveloped or vacant land. The other thing you will notice below where the existing pump station components are, or the proposed pump station components, you'll see there's some grading, and that actually falls within the floodplain, FEMA floodplain, and that's required due to where we want to put it. We had to kind of level things off. It's very minor filling, 2 cubic yards, but what we're doing is providing some additional excavation. You'll see to the right, to kind of compensate for that, so there's going to be no net impact in the compensatory flood storage. I'm going to go to the next sheet, so C401. You'll see there's in gray, there's a new paved driveway and a new parking area. The purpose for that parking area serves twofold. It's also going to be a turnaround area for their maintenance vehicles. Right now they have a very tough time getting vehicles down there because of the slopes and the narrow driveway. So it's an effort to allow them to make the movements safely and a lot more easily than they do now. Another thing you'll notice is the existing pump station is entirely surrounded by pavement versus what we're showing is an access drive down to it, and then instead of pavement, we're going to do crushed stone. That reduces the impervious cover at the site by a little less than 200 square feet, and that also be a net decrease in stormwater runoff with that as well. That stone will also encourage some infiltration, and then will actually filter and dissipate surface runoff from stormwater. As it exists now, there's a perimeter fence, so we're going to put it back. There's going to be a new perimeter fence with a gate, and then also a new site entrance gate. And then talking about the new sheet pile wall, you'll see where the existing one is. It's highlighted in yellow. So the sheet pile wall spans from 58 West Shore Drive, which is the site, to 76 West Shore Drive, which is, it's like 5 properties down. Again, 280 linear feet or so. The plan is to have this work being done while the pond is drawn down. So it occurs annually. The Lake Association does it as part of a maintenance program. So we're going to time the work so that it's done when the pond is lowered. And in that picture, there's a picture on this plan. You could see what it looks like from when we went out last November. You have like 5 to 6 feet from the face of the wall to the water line, which will definitely reduce any impacts to that water body when they're doing the work.
And you're going to do the whole wall all the way? Yeah.
So the process, all equipment's going to be upland. There's going to be no equipment within that pond area, even though it's dry. There's no equipment down there. It'll be, they need to get laborers down there with manual equipment. They're going to first stake some compost filter tubes, ENS control measures, between the wall and the water line. They're going to install the new wall on the landward side of the existing water line. It's a sheet pile wall, so they're going to drive it from upland. They're then going to go down and cut that existing wall back, and that's going to require some very minor excavation, about a foot they have to dig down. They can do that by hand, cut it, and then put that native material back in, and that's to remove the existing wall, and it'll leave behind only the new wall. And then basically to finish this, the ENS control measures, we have a plan. It's not part of these presentation plans, but it was submitted, an ENS control plan. And we show control measures that are consistent with Connecticut guidelines. We have an anti-tracking pad at the entrance. We have silt fence back with compost filter tubes on the downgraded perimeter. There's some catch basin inlet protection along West Shore Drive for some existing catch basins up there. That's associated with the work within the roadway. It's pretty minor, but in the event that dewatering is to occur, which is likely, it's going to be handled by a dewatering bag. There's a detail for that. We have some notes to make sure that any dewatered material is turbid-free. Topsoil is going to be stockpiled on the site and surrounded with silt fence. And then I'm going to go back a couple sheets to the utility and grading plan. You'll see there's some contours at the site entrance, and then behind the pump station, pretty steep slopes. So for those areas where your slopes of 3 to 1 or more steeper, we're going to have some vegetative slope protection, which is basically an erosion control blanket, but more permanent. So they're going to seed it, put that blanket down, and that's going to prevent any washout of topsoil or seed when it rains. And then lastly, obviously dust control, pretty standard for contractor, but we have notes on the ENS control plan for that.
Thank you.
So I'll open it up to any questions.
Okay.
Just one question. So no work waterside?
The only work water side would be the temporary excavation so that they could dig down, cut that existing wall below grade, and then they're just going to replace that native material back. So very minor.
Yeah.
But
So-
we're going to put a compost filter tube there anyway to kind of have that buffer, protect any sediment if it does make its way to the water.
When do you anticipate start?
Based on the timing, I think a rough estimate would be this fall to do the wall. That would probably be the process, do the wall and all that first, and then the pump station components after that.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question? No? Ann?
No.
Good. Gentlemen?
Just some planning comments we had that they have responded to. We asked about grading and new soils being brought in. They said soils shall be brought on site primarily to replace existing subgrade soils that may not be suitable for utility trenching and/or the new driveway base.
Like specific.
Other new material brought on site includes the crushed stone to be used as an apron within the fenced-in equipment area and along the west of the driveway to reduce maintenance, mowing, and to mitigate storm runoff, like they mentioned. Every effort will be made to reuse topsoil and existing materials, but any material deemed not suitable for reuse will be removed from the site and properly disposed of. We also asked about heavy machinery and equipment to be used during construction and where they're going to be parked. The heavy machinery will be used and will move throughout the area labeled the limit of work in order to perform the excavations and grading. Most of that movement and parking will primarily occur within the area of the existing pump station and over the area of the existing driveway.
So my only question is, you're going to be bringing soil on to the site in case you need some. Do you know about how much it's going to be?
I don't think we have a volume.
It's not
but
going to be a lot.
No, I mean, it would be
Okay.
associated with utilities, obviously like trenches for sewer, and electric, you want to make sure you use the right material. You
Right.
can't use the existing material most of the
Okay.
time. And then again, for the pump station or the physical structures that have load attached to it, if you encounter unsuitable material that can't support that weight, you're going to have to probably
so.
excavate more and bring in a crushed stone or gravel, something to make sure it has proper support.
Okay, thanks. So I want to add a site-specific condition that soils may be brought onto the site as we just talked about, okay? Because otherwise our conditions don't allow it, so, unless we spell it out. So, thank you. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, thoughts? No? No? We're good?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve XIW 26-01, 58 West Shore Drive, application for an inland wetland to upgrade the wastewater pumping station, retaining wall, and associated site improvements. Water pollution control applicant, Town of Enfield, owner, map 96, lot 23, R33, LFOD zone, with the following site-specific conditions. Soils may be brought onto site as discussed.
Second.
That's Ken. So we get Kelly and Ken second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Okay, Donna Corbin-Sabinski,
Yes.
Kelly Hemler, yes. Ian Collins,
No.
Okay.
Ken Kaufman,
Yes.
Chris Renaud,
Yes.
Robert Gillespie.
Yes.
Ann, when we have a no vote, then you have to explain why.
Fine. I feel that was the shortest and most inadequate explanation I have ever heard in 5 years on this committee.
Though you have to say what regulation it doesn't match. It can't just be a general comment like that. You have to say it violates one of our regulations.
I think it is going to affect the watercourse and the 7 abutters, and that there's a great deal more work that needs to be done to protect the lake.
Okay. All right.
So 5-1, and it passes.
Right, so we have 5 in favor, 1 against, motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the
Nice detailed maps.
nice detailed maps and
I like that.
documents. Yeah, they're very helpful. Thank you. Okay. Next on our agenda is enforcement reports, cease and desist, 174 Shaker Road.
Okay, as you all know, I hope that I sent out that email last week to
Yes.
Attorney Schober with the photos. The agency gave them until May 31st to remove the containers and the mulch pile. As of this date, they have not been removed. The response by Mr. Schober,
Was in the,
I
no,
believe everybody was copied on it, so that's his response.
which was confidential, so.
Yeah.
Discuss, yeah.
The issue, I guess the issue is,
Do we know when they think they'd have it finished?
well, now he's asking for the end of June if he can do it by then.
Right, so,
And this is what went on in 2022. Putting it off because they couldn't get a soil scientist.
Right.
I don't know how long you want to continue this. It's totally up to you as the agency. If you want to give them another month, fine. But the other alternative is either approve it and give them more time, or we start enforcement by means of a citation for the violation.
was, what was stated to us, the reasons, I guess I would have no problem with another month, and then after that, we'll have to
Yeah, I mean,
start something.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're trying to get them to come into compliance.
Yeah. And it would be nice if you could,
They've been there for
quite a
a
while.
long period of time anyways, and the issue is getting both the mulch pile and the containers out of there.
Yeah,
Well, if he's asking for the end of June, that's only 2 more weeks from now.
yeah, so it's not
Would that be sufficient, do you think?
Till our next
I
meeting.
couldn't even begin to tell you. I don't know the situation personally.
Yeah. Our next meeting would be July 7th. So,
Okay, so we'll have an update by July 7th, one way or the other, and you can make a decision further on it
yeah,
at that time.
okay. So, is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ann?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so can I have a motion to continue to July 7th?
I'd like to make a motion to continue the cease and desist for 174 Shaker Road until our next meeting, which is July 7th.
Second?
So Kelly and Chris? Further discussion? Okay, yeah, and like you said, July 7th, then we'll discuss it if it's not finished and go on from there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's asking till the end of June. We'll see what happens. I'll check it again at the end of
Yeah.
June, and,
See what happens for July?
yep,
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
So he actually gets another extra week. Okay.
So do I have to do roll call for that, right?
Oh, yes, yeah,
Donna Corbin-Sabinski?
yes.
Kelly Hemler, yes. Ann Collins?
Yes.
Ken Kaufman?
Yes.
Chris Renaud?
Yes.
Robert Gillespie?
Yes.
6 in favor, motion passes. Let's continue to July 7th. The next is a notice of violation for 13 Hilliard Drive. This one. Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, how are you? Could you state your name and address for the record?
Sure. It's
Thank you.
Thomas Bercuglio, 13 Hilliard Drive,
Okay.
Enfield, Connecticut.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Yeah, so the Enfield Planning and Zoning Department, we received an anonymous complaint letter regarding the property at 13 Hilliard Drive. That's map 18, lot 277. The complaint was that there was further machine equipment and tree clearing activity conducted within the wetland regulated area on the property after the owner was informed at the March 18th, 2025 IWWA regular meeting that no more activity can happen on the lot until a permit is received.
And we didn't get one. Right. Okay. So, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Are you waiting for
Any
me?
comments? Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. So I would like to know what evidence supports the allegation, what alleged activity was observed, and was it staff observation or a third-party complaint?
It was an anonymous letter that we received that said there was machine equipment and tree clearing activity. And then during our site visit, we observed from the public roadway a large clearing area and some type of equipment. Unconfirmed as to what it was. No activity was happening while we were there inspecting it, but the complaint came in, and that's why we're here.
When you mean equipment, the picture that we have right here?
Correct. It's an orange
Yeah, that would
type
be
of, yeah,
brush
I'm
cutter,
not sure what it is.
but that's not on that property.
Oh,
It's 2 lots there. And since the cease and desist last year, you know, I've done the soil scientists with Davison Environmental. I've had the wetland delineation done. Recently had a survey completed to get to the point of a permit with you guys. But no work has been done up front. There is the picture of the gate. I put a gate in because there was a lot of increased foot traffic. People driving in back there. In the winter, the neighbor sent me a picture of like an Amazon truck that drove in there and nearly got stuck. So being that it's open and I'm not there, I just wanted to prohibit people from getting in there. So
That
that's the
makes
reason
sense.
I put the gate in. But I haven't done anything else up front since we've last met. Which you can see in the pictures, the grass isn't even cut.
Just one question. So what you're saying, the mulcher is on a property adjacent to you that is doing work on it?
It's the rear lot. So I own both lots right there. 13 Hillier and 51 Bridge. So that piece of equipment is on the 51 Bridge lot.
So it's been doing clearing on 51 Bridge?
It's just been sitting back there. I had equipment delivered when I purchased the property, and it's just stored back there for now until we get permitted and can move back up front to then continue back.
Expensive piece of equipment just to be sitting.
Tell me about it.
so,
Yeah, when we went out there, we found no evidence apart from it being there and what we saw from the road in those pictures. There was no activity happening or
you couldn't see anything new happening because you
No,
didn't notice difference in the
not-
brush and,
no difference since Stephen went out a year ago
Oh, okay.
and noticed what he noticed for the original cease and desist.
So to me, it seems like you're going through the process to get up to the actual permit, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, we just got the survey completed. We were trying to make it to this wetlands meeting, but things
Didn't
didn't
work.
happen, so hopefully we
Maybe
can make
next
it to
one.
the next the permit
Yeah.
application.
So was the original cease and desist pulled from way back when, or is it still in effect?
I think we could close that. Did we close it? Oh, we would close it once it was, yeah, we would close it once he had the permit. But he hasn't gotten the permit.
He hasn't got the permit, so the original one's still in effect on top of the one we just issued.
Right, so the original one is still in
It's
effect.
still in effect.
So, I mean, I guess an
So we have to decide,
alternative,
is this is actual real?
correct.
Right.
The first one did have definite violations, so that's
Right.
why you kept it
And we
open.
said you needed a permit, so he's working
So
on
the
that.
first one has teeth. This one here is kind of an in addition that we can actually close?
Close or say it's
Could.
not really valid. Right.
It's an NOV.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would have to close it as an agency.
Yeah, we'd have to close it as, yeah. So we'd have to stipulate this is the date and stuff, so we don't mistakenly close the wrong one.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion to close the cease and desist dated
This is a
June
violation.
9th,
That's
2026.
the notice of violation.
This is a violation, not a cease and desist. There we go.
I would like to make a motion to close the violation dated June 9th, 2026 for,
Invalid.
for invalid reasons. Can I just ask them a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't seem right to me that somebody could just send an anonymous letter. I mean, what if Tom just has somebody who doesn't like him, so they just send a letter?
It could
So,
happen.
so here's the issue. The complaint was, or the activity was reported to us that took place over the weekend, and obviously, we're not there to go out there to listen. So we do the best, go out
Right.
to see what we can see. I mean, one of the other alternatives is he can give permission for the agents to go out there and see if there was any more activity,
Okay.
if you choose to do so, and if he's willing to let them do that.
Okay. It just-
Otherwise,
it just-
we
It just
get,
seems shady to me.
sometimes we get anonymous complaints that are anonymous and they don't,
Right.
aren't
Pan out.
fruitful, and then there's other times where there's backbone to them, and we find a violation, whether it's wetlands or zoning.
Okay.
Well, the complainant really probably didn't know that there's two lots, and he's
There.
looking at a $100,000 piece of equipment within eyesight.
Yeah,
A normal person would say, something's wrong.
yeah.
Okay.
And you didn't see any activity when you inspected?
Not during the week when they went.
Right, right.
Okay, so I made the motion to close this violation.
Dated
Do I-
June 9th.
Yep. Do I have a second?
I'll second that one.
Let me
Thank
see,
you.
let me see, so now I get, write this down. Kelly and Ken seconding it. Any other discussion?
When you're gonna get your permit?
Only if he has a problem.
Hopefully, we'll have the permit or the application ready for the next meeting.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, because in August, we don't have any meetings.
Sure.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah,
You don't wanna go a whole summer
ready?
without being
No,
able to
I
use a
know,
mulcher.
It's been a while.
yeah. Okay, so Kelly and Ken seconded it. Roll call?
Donna Corbin-Sabinski,
Yes.
Kelly Hemler, yes. Ann Collins,
Yes.
Ken Kaufman?
Yes.
Chris Renaud?
Yes.
Robert Gillespie?
Yes.
6 in favor to close this violation of June 9th.
Maybe we'll see you back at the next
In a
Hope
couple
so.
weeks, well, first we'd have to receive it, and then, so it'd be our second July meeting.
Okay. Yeah, my
If you get it
surveyor's
in
been-
time for-
My
yeah.
surveyor's been in contact with Mr. Heinley, so,
Perfect.
all right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, TJ.
Okay, planning and staff report.
I don't have anything. Rick, do you have anything?
Okay?
No, negative for me.
Rick, no, okay, moving forward. Applications to be received, IW 729, 10 Wheeler Drive, application for a wetland permit to replace retaining wall with an upland review area. Dan Smith, applicant owner, map 80, lot 165, R33, LFOD zone. So,
Just one quick thing about this, the application that was given to you guys in the packets there was incomplete sections and incorrect sections. He has since submitted an updated one that will be in the packets for the next meeting when you guys are hearing it and acting on it.
okay. Wanted to say, so could we make sure that, I don't know if it's done yet, but the documents required section is filled in? Because it's not, according to what was out there. There's no check marks anywhere.
I think that was probably one of the sections
Probably one
that
of
was
your
marked.
sections that
that
needed to be.
He has since fixed
fixed.
it, but I'll double check that too.
Yeah, just so when he gets here, when they get here, it's done. Okay. So that's received. Miscellaneous. Anybody?
Nope.
You say something? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, I have one thing. So, could we work on, we had that violation process that we did with the $1,000 fine and all that? But we don't have a process. We don't have anything like how we go about doing it. Could we get that figured out? Like, I don't know, who would do it? The attorney?
We'll have to talk to the town attorney. There
Must be a process somewhere.
or there should be a
Somehow.
procedure that
Yeah.
we follow. There is under zoning, we have a timeline for doing everything, for the notices and then
Yeah.
the appeal process, because you still have to have an appeal process. So,
So can we get like a step-by-step, like this happens, this happens, this happens?
yeah, we'll get something drawn up. I'll talk to the town attorney about it, and we'll
Yeah.
get something drawn up.
That'd be good in case we might need it. We wouldn't know what to do or how to do it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
16? Motion to adjourn?
Sounds good.
Second?
So Ken and Kelly seconded, and to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. It's 6:37.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, just the site conditions. Yeah, where we
Garbage,
just said
garbage.
that he can bring the soil on.
Garbage and garbage.
Hey. No, I wouldn't want you to do it.
Blue garbage. Blue garbage. I know, I keep these too.
Oh, that'd be crazy. No, just a site visit, because then if, you look back, you got a question, yeah, you could just have to look at that.